Okay, I'm going to record. So good morning. Back from my trip, and I'm so glad to have you two here. And I really appreciated the Peruvian philosophy. So it's really Inca, kind of. It's interesting because they had the Inca religion, but then when the Spaniards came and took over, they brought Catholicism. So they have like this fusion of Inca and Catholicism in that area. And so their philosophy is really simple. What they do is they just abide by two principles. And the first one is gratitude, which we practice a lot for yoga. And then the second one is reciprocity. And so, especially in the areas where I was that are very much farming communities, they all help each other. So they're very grateful for what they have and what they're given and their land, and especially Mother Earth, which they call Pachamama, which I love. Um, so they're grateful, but then they also help others. They feel like it's their duty to help others and to appreciate others, which I think is really cool. So let's just start by closing your eyes and begin to feel your breath. Sometimes just by noticing your breath, you automatically smooth it out, maybe even lengthen it a bit. But as you breathe in, I want you to just notice your spine and how your head is actually an extension of your spine. And then when you breathe out, just notice that nice long spine. You don't have to work hard to get this. You just notice it and feel it. Perhaps feel like the back of your neck is super long because that's where your spine continues on up. We're going to practice the Inca / Peruvian philosophy and just think of a few things about your physical body that you're really grateful for this morning. And then think of a few things that you can do to give back to your body today. You can give it good, nutritious food, plenty of rest, maybe keep it clean. Whatever it is, there's many things you can do to keep your body functioning at its highest level. Perhaps practicing yoga. Our bodies do so much for us, and we just take them for granted. So just appreciate and give back. And please bring hands to heart center, lengthening the back of your neck so that you can bow your head towards your heart. Help us to remember to always be grateful and to give back. Gratitude and reciprocity. If we do that, we're much better able to notice the beauty and the grace that we're always surrounded with. And please lower your hands, open your eyes. Just move your hands to your sides and come up on fingertips. And think long side body, head of the arm bones back, but keep the lower ribs drawing in, but lift your heart forward. Kind of just, and then feel your shoulder blades squeeze towards each other. You're really connected. It's like rib cage is back, but it allows your heart to come forward. If you need to move your fingers back a little bit, you can. Feel those muscles between your shoulder blades just kind of working, allowing those shoulder blades to come together, and then broaden your clavicles. You'll feel good. One more breath like that. It's a lot of work to do that. We get so weak there. Good. And then come forward, just fingertips to the side, and inhale, palms up, stretch your arms up. And exhale, hands through heart center. And do that again. Inhale. Exhale, hands through heart center. Good. Bring your right fingertips to the side. You can reach out a little bit. Inhale, left arm up. And then just slowly arc to the side, just remembering that low ribs together, long side body from the hip all the way to the armpit. Just lengthen out that side. Think of your head as an extension of your spine. Turn your chest up slightly. Big stretch. Even the right side of your body, have it feel long but yet curved. Good. Come on back up and switch sides. Inhale, right arm up, and then slowly arc. You can bend the elbow if you want more stretch. It was fun in Peru. The lodges we stayed in all had yoga rooms. Somebody found out that I teach yoga, and so I taught a few classes at the lodges. Reach up, pretend like you have a big beach ball that you're hugging. Engaging your arms and your core, and then hands through heart center. Good. And then come on to all fours. And just to warm you up, I want you to make sure your hands are under your shoulders, but make them just a little bit wider this morning. Knees are right under hips. Curl the toes under and just lift your knees a few inches and think long spine, head in line with your spine. So the back of your neck is long. So you feel connected from your tailbone all the way up through the top of your head. You're not making a cow with your back. You're really engaging, strengthening your core, feeling your quads, breathing. Try and go for 2 more breaths if you're fatiguing, you can always come down. And on your exhale, lower your knees. Now stretch your feet long. Press the tops of your feet down. And then move your hands forward and bring your elbows where your hands were. And then maybe just wiggle back a little more so that your elbows are in front. And then think again, long side body, head of the arm bones back, but broaden your clavicles. And then just do, it's kind of like I call it a butt up child's pose. Maybe your forehead will come down, maybe not. And breathe. Even here, I feel my forehead pressing down so I can keep the back of my neck long. I feel connected up and down. And then come on back up, come back to all fours. Maybe that little bit wider stance. And then just starting with your tailbone, think of feeling the spine nice and long back of neck, feel connected all the way from the tail through the top of the head, but then move into a cow pose with that connection. So you're curving the back. If you start with your tail and end with your head, and you feel that length, it feels a little different. And just pause there and notice. The low ribs still feel connected. Maybe you can even deepen it. I'm isometrically pulling my hands and my knees towards each other. Good. And then go into cat pose, but the same thing. Think, I'm going to pause in the middle, feel the connection, and then starting with the tail, round up. And I don't just let my head drop. I just feel like it's an extension. And really round to cat. Now it feels like my hands and my knees are pushing away from each other. I pause there and just feel it. Good. Now do that a few more times, but just with your breath. So inhale to cow. And exhale to cat. They always say that you're just as young as your spine is flexible. So it's good to work on spine flexibility, but with that connection, it feels safer. One more round. Cow and cat. Good. Now take another child's pose. Stretch the feet long, big toes together, but this time sit all the way back if you can. And you can bring your hands in front of you, the prayer position. And then see about lifting the hands up and bringing them behind your head with that prayer position. Stretches out your triceps. Pressing the elbows down, you'll get a little more stretch. If it's better for you with your knees to do the butt up variation, feel free. Armpits still feel hollow. Head feels like an extension of the spine. Good. Now release the hands and come back up to all fours. And this time bring the hands forward of your shoulders a little bit. Curl the toes. Lift the knees and then just slowly come into downward facing dog. Make sure you're spreading the weight on your hands to the fingertips, the finger mounds. And then just start to slowly walk your dog. So bending one knee and the other. Feeling the head not dropping, the back of the neck long, just feeling like the head is an extension of your spine. And just keep walking the dog. Keep lengthening. Its bones are backing up. And then just slowly walk your feet. You can do the crisscross if you want, up to your hands. And make your way to a forward fold. And you might have your knees bent a lot right now because I really want you to focus on grounding through your feet. And you can always try and straighten the legs more. Just feel connection with the ground. I like to sway forward and back a little bit, not lifting anything, but just shifting the weight forward and back so that you can be sure you're really balancing the weight in your feet, and then just kind of pause where you feel like the weight's right in the middle. Your arches are engaged and lifting. And then just here, just slightly bend one knee and the other. And then pause and come up to a pranam. And I want you to really think of lengthening the spine and extending through the top of the head. So pranam. And just hold that for a moment. Just feel it. And then on your next exhale, fold forward again. And then this time on the inhale, come all the way up to standing. Reach up and feel like you're squeezing a big beach ball. Feel how your core engages more. Good. And then bring hands through heart center and fold forward again. Uttanasana. Pranam again with your breath. So inhale, think of feeling the head as an extension of the spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach up, squeeze that big beach ball. And exhale, hands through heart center. And just bring your hands by your side. Getting warmed up. Now, I want you to have your blocks handy if you're going to use them. I'm going to put mine on the outside of my feet. And we'll get into the legs a little bit. So inhale, reach up, squeeze the beach ball. I want you to feel like your head's an extension of your spine. Good. Hands together and just slice down and come to a forward fold. Inhale, pranam, feeling that length. Exhale, hands to the blocks. Inhale, step your right foot back to a deep lunge. Just pause there and feel connected everywhere. See how? And then on your next inhale, feel like you're doing a pranam. So extend your spine long. And then exhale, lower the back knee. Inhale again, pranam. So extend long. Head's an extension of your spine. And then exhale, walk back to straighten the left leg for runner's lunge. I have my foot flexed here. You can use blocks if you need to. Now inhale, pranam here. So extend the spine long. You'll feel more connection. You'll feel your heel pressing down. And then exhale, round over the leg. And do that one more time. So think pranam from the sits bones, from the tailbone all the way through the top of the head. You extend and exhale. Hold a little bit. Inhale, bend back into the front knee. Hands to the blocks, lift the back knee. Good, step forward. Because we're doing that spine extension, pranam. And fold. And let's do that with the other side. So inhale, left foot back to deep lunge. Just take a moment to feel it. Right hip creases back, hips are square. You can lift the back heel high just to feel connected. And then on your next inhale, pranam. So extend long all the way through the top of the head, back of the neck long. And then exhale, lower the back knee. Inhale, pranam again. And then exhale, straighten the right leg, walk the hips back. And then 2 times pranam here. So inhale, think from both sits bones, up the spine through the top of the head, pranam. Exhale, fold. One more time. Pranam, heels and sits bones lined up. Pressing the heel down and fold. Next, inhale, bend into the front knee. I'm going to move my blocks to the side, lift the back knee, and then step back to a plank pose. And here I want you to pause and think, okay, I have the long side body. Maybe I can dome right between my shoulder blades a bit, but still feel a long back of neck and connection all the way up and down. And pause. Good, now pranam, melt the heart a little bit. Think long extension, and then exhale, lower to the mat. Stretch the feet long. Feel the core. So you really have to draw your rib cage back a little bit. And then think long spine, connected through the back of the neck, and then maybe lift to a baby cobra. And just hold, really feeling that extension. Don't scoop the tailbone, just feel long in the spine, connected all the way up, and then lower down. Good, push back all the way to a child's pose. Give me an opportunity to take off a layer. Good breath, or 2. And then please come up to all fours and grab your blocks again to bring under your hands. And this time, I just want them to be shoulder width apart, and lift to a downward facing dog on the blocks. It's okay if your knees are still bent, your feet are at least hip width, your armpits are hollow, but you feel that extension through the back of the neck, all the way through the top of the head. And now come forward to plank, keeping that long spine, long through the back of the head, and push back, downward facing dog. And then I'm going to have you extend the right leg and then step it all the way to the outside of the right block. And then just pause here. You might have to turn the toes out slightly because you want the kneecaps and toes pointing the same direction. And then lower the back knee. Inhale, pranam, extend the spine long, really lengthen through the top of the head. And then exhale, lower to your elbows. Don't really want you to look out. I just want you to feel that nice long spine. Maybe widen the right knee. So your spine is in the same line, but your right leg is like an outlier. You're just stretching it. Hug knee to heel, heel to knee, and you'll lengthen your spine even more. Good, and then come on up on your hands again. Bring your right hand to your right thigh and just slowly twist to your right. Feeling that nice long spine, the right hip crease stays back, maybe extend the arm. Open the heart a little bit with that nice connected long spine. And then please touch down to the block. Lift the back knee and step back, downward facing dog. You still feel connected. Can you broaden your clavicles a bit? Can you lengthen the back of your neck? Inhale to plank on the blocks. Feeling that shift, you're just all connected. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the left leg and step it all the way up to the outside of the block. Give you a moment. Just see if your heels, your right heel and your right sits bone are lined up, and your left hand and your left sits bones are lined up. Good. Inhale, pranam, extend long, really feel that connection. And exhale, lower the back knee. Again, inhale, pranam. Your left hip crease feels like it's drawing back, and then exhale, lower to your elbows. You can keep doing the pranams if you want. So on the inhale, you lengthen. Exhale, you might soften a little bit and just notice if your knee can broaden a bit. Take a couple more breaths. You don't have to work it so hard if it's not feeling good. Just notice, appreciate, give back. So your body's doing great things for you. So appreciate that. And then give back by giving it lots of breath and lots of room and not overstretching. Good. Back, hands back on the blocks. Left hand to the left thigh and just twist to your left. Just feel like everything stays long and strong in the spine, but maybe you open up. You can extend the arm if you want. Couple breaths. Good. And then bringing the hand back down to the block. Lift the back knee, step back, down dog. And then slowly step your feet up to your hands. You can widen the blocks a little bit so you can stand between them. And next, inhale, pranam. Just remembering that lengthening and all the way through the top of the head and fold. Next, inhale, reach up, squeeze the beach ball. And exhale, hands through heart center. Hands by your side. Just close your eyes for a moment. Working that way, just notice how your head reaches up towards the ceiling. Maybe your hands, your heart open a little bit. Upper arm opens. Broaden the clavicles. Good. Open your eyes. I'm going to have you turn sideways on your mat. You can move the blocks out of the way, or if you need them for a prasarita. So take a wide stance with your feet. And then just notice again, does it feel like you're really engaging all parts of the feet? And then inhale, reach up, squeeze that big beach ball. And exhale, slice down and fold forward. You might have to bend your knees to a prasarita, poddattanasana. Inhale, lengthen your spine, look out. Lengthen all the way through the top of your head. And exhale, fold. And then just pause where it's a good stretch for you. And you can, just like we did in Uttanasana, I want you to just kind of sway forward and back and see, do I really have weight in the big toe mounds, the little toe mounds, the inside of heel, the outside of heel? Are my arches lifting? I'm really engaging all parts of my feet. And then pause when you feel like, oh, that's the middle. Your knees may very well be bent. That's okay if they are. Just notice, do your kneecaps and toes point the same direction? Sometimes we work the outer or the inner a little bit more. And then on your next inhale, pranam again, extend through the top of your head. And exhale, fold. And on your next inhale, sweep all the way up again. Keep the weight right in the middle of your feet. Reach up, squeeze the big beach ball, and then hands to heart center. Good. Now just your right foot, turn it forward. Foot and leg. Bend into your front knee, tracking it straight, and then add the arms. Warrior two. I really want you to think, okay, I'm grounded through the feet. I'm going to lengthen my spine all the way up through the top of my head and then broaden my clavicles. So you feel so connected in your core. Make sure your knees tracking straight. Warrior two. You'll feel your spine nice and long. You'll feel more connection in your core. I have to really work to draw my lower ribs together. To do that, I have to keep my back knee bent slightly. I feel weight in all parts of that back foot. Good. And then reach up to squeeze the beach ball as you straighten your leg and turn that foot forward and bring hands to heart center. Check your feet. And then we're going to do that with the left foot. So turn the left foot and leg out. Bend into the front knee. Feel your long spine, and then add the arms. Feel weight in the little toe mound of your right foot, big toe mound, right in the middle. Really feel like you're extending the back of your neck long all the way through the top of your head. Good. Straighten the front leg on your inhale. Squeeze the beach ball. Turn the left foot forward and bring hands to heart center. Good. Turn the right foot. Look at your left foot. Make sure it's straight ahead. You have weight in all parts. Then turn the right foot out again. Bend into the front knee. Add the arms. Okay, now keep all that straight in the front leg. Feel like you're pranaming, and then fold into triangle pose. Up. Triangle pranam. So you're really extending your spine. You don't have to go so deep. You can always go deeper when you feel connected. Feel like your left armpit is hollow and your rib cage is back, but you can open your heart and extend through the top of your head. Gorgeous, honey. Back right leg grounds you. One more breath. Feel like inhale, pranam, I really extend. Exhale, come on back up to standing. Squeeze the beach ball. Hands to heart center as you turn that foot forward. Switch sides. Start by bending into the front knee. I think it's easier to feel in warrior two, that extension. And then straighten the front leg. Really feel like you're pranam with an inhale and exhale, fold. You can start, high and then slowly fold down. I just want you to feel that connection, especially through the top of your head. Right armpit's hollow. You feel both big toe mounds. You feel both little toe mounds. Feel both inside of heel, both outside of heel. Lengthen. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, come back up. Squeeze the beach ball, turn the foot in. And exhale, slice down, come back to prasarita, poddattanasana. Inhale to pranam. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep all the way up. Squeeze the beach ball. Exhale, hands through heart center. Good, and then just heel toe, heel toe, heel toe. Walk your feet together. Thank goodness, right? It's a long time in a wide stance. And come on back to the front of your mat with your blocks. Find your connection to the floor. Find your lengthening as you stretch your arms up, squeeze the beach ball. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, pranam. And exhale, fold. change my mind. Set your blocks off to the side and then step back to a downward facing dog. And I want you to feel like your hands are really super connected. You can just walk your dog for a moment. And then when you feel grounded through all parts of your hands, feel like your spine is nice and long, your head's an extension. Then extend just your right leg. Keep the hips square to the floor. And just feel that. Point the toe, maybe even. Can you feel that really nice, long, connected spine even here? Good. Lower the right foot. And extend the left leg. Long back of neck, extending through the top of the head. And lower that leg. Good. Lower down to your knees. Your hands are still slightly in front and come down to your elbows. I'm trying to decide. I think it's easier if you clasp your hands together. So your elbows are just right under or in the same line as your shoulders, but maybe your shoulders are back slightly. Keeping your toes curled under. Think of connection all the way through the top of your head as you lift your knees and come to dolphin pose. Feel like your armpits are hollow, but you're broadening your clavicles. You're pressing the forearms down. You can keep knees bent if that's better for you. If you want to, you can walk your feet a little closer. It feels good in your shoulders and you feel stable. And then lift the right leg. Same thing. I want you to feel super connected through the spine, all the way through the top of the head. This is dolphin pose. And then lower that leg and extend through the left. Press your hands down, press your forearms down. Hollow the armpits, lengthen the back of your neck. Good, and then bring the foot down and take a child's pose. You can just stack your hands under your forehead if you'd like. Just want you to notice how when you're really connected through the spine and long and strong, from tailbone to top of head, how you're much better able to give your limbs a good stretch and a good challenge. Your limbs and the joints there, the shoulder joints, the hip joints. And come on up to all fours. Swivel your feet to one side or the other so you can sit and bring your legs in front of you. Now, if your hamstrings aren't feeling that great that you can sit up tall, please use a blanket under your tail. But or you can bend your knees if you don't have a blanket. Press the heels down. Even if your legs are fully extended, press the heels down, activate the feet. Fingertips beside you, just like we did at first. I want you to think long side body, head of the arm bones back, and then lengthen the spine all the way through the top of the head. Keep the rib cage drawing back, but allow your heart to lift. This is Dandasana. Big stretch, like you're drawing your shoulder blades towards each other, but broadening the clavicles. Rib cage is engaged. Good. Now pause and inhale, reach up, squeeze. Big beach ball. And then exhale, fold forward, bring your fingertips to any spot where it feels like that's a limit for now. And then inhale, lengthen through the top of the head, really stretch, press your heels down. Exhale, maybe soften a bit and fold forward. And just keep going like that. So inhale, pranam, it feels like a pranam, lengthening. Exhale, softening. And walk your fingertips further forward if that works. Inhale, pranam. Exhale, fold. When it feels like that's my limit, just pause there and breathe and appreciate what your body is doing for you. You can give it some mental love back. Thank you. It's called poddattanasana, by the way. And then slowly make your way back up. Turn this way. And bend just your right knee. Bring it across. And we're going to work on a little twist. So here, it always helps if I interlace my hands in front of my shin and I pull back and up, and then I can do that pranam thing where I feel like, oh, I can get nice and long. Good. And then on the exhale, just grab the knee with your left elbow, bring your right hand behind you and do a little twist. You'll feel it. So every inhale, think pranam, connection, straight up. And then every exhale, maybe you'll feel a little more able to twist. Keep both sides of the body nice and long. Want to, you can even bring the elbow to the outside if that's feeling good. You can feel the whole right foot pressing down. If not, it's okay. You just stay where you're at. Good, and then unwind. And just bring your ankle across that thigh. Lean back on fingertips again and get your spine nice and long. And then see if you can lean back a little bit to bend the knee and bring that up. And then see, maybe you can keep that long spine and grab a hold, maybe even hold the leg. Extend that leg back out. Yeah, so every inhale, think long spine. You'll feel more stretch in that joint connection. And maybe exhale, soften a little bit. Just rock your baby slightly. And then release, and we'll switch. Ah, that felt good. I need some hip openers after all that hiking I did. Okay, so bend the opposite knee, be your left, bring it across. See if that feels stable, where you can really ground through all parts. Interlace in front of the shin, and then pull back and up so that you can feel that pranam. And then exhale, grab a hold and twist. And just keep doing that. So don't go so deep at first. Just think, inhale, press the sits bones down so you can feel that nice long spine. You have a curve in your low back all the way through the top of your head, and then exhale, twist. If you want to, you can bring the elbow to the outside of the knee if that still feels good. Still feel like you can pranam. One more breath. And then come back to center and just allow the ankle to come across the knee. Fingertips behind you so you can lengthen, pranam. Maybe lean back a little bit to bend the knee. And just give yourself a few moments here to think, okay, every inhale I'm pranam, I'm really connected. I feel that stretch deeply. And then see if you can keep that as you find the foot and the knee and extend back out. If you can bring the elbow there, it works better because then you don't sickle your foot. Yeah. Just rock your baby. Think. Really extend the spine long. Lengthen through the top of the head. Oof. Deep in the hip, right? Breathing. If this is too intense for you, you don't have to wrap your arms. You just hold it and kind of rock. If you want more, you just kind of lift the shin a little higher. Keep the length in your spine. Keep the foot flexed and active. Big toe mound forward. Good. And then release. Bend your knees and bring your bum as close as you can to your heels as you lay down. That way you can make sure your toes are pointing straight ahead. Bring your hands by your hips. And then I want you to just feel a pranam. So I like to keep a little curve in my low back because that's natural. But you feel like you're working up your spine and lengthening it, lengthening the back of the neck all the way through the top of the head. Even your side body feels nice and long. Now feel that first, and then press into your feet and lift your hips up for Setu Bandha. You'll still feel a long back of neck. You'll still feel extension through the top of the head. But just like we did in cat and cow, you can feel a curve, and you can, even though your rib cage is really engaged, you can encourage your heart to lift more. Bridge pose, active bridge pose, pressing down with your arms and hands. One more breath. And lower all the way down. Hug your knees into your chest. Just kind of roll side to side a few times. Massage your low back. And then holding the kneecaps so your fingers point towards your toes. Just slowly push the knees away from you till it feels like the curve has come back in your low back and your arms are fully extended. Don't let the ribs pop out here though. So keep thinking long spine all the way through the top of the head. And then just roll back and forth a few times. Massage the glutes. And then releasing your knees, bring the feet flat, and then just allow the soles of the feet to come together. You can bring your hands on your belly or even on your rib cage if you want, so that you can feel the breath as you are in poddattanasana or lying down cobbler's pose. Appreciate what your breath does for you. And then do a little reciprocity by just allowing your lungs to really open up and encourage a deeper breath. Not forcing it, just allowing it to open easily. Feel your diaphragm softening so it's more flexible. And then slowly close the knees. Bring your arms to cactus or T. Hug the knees in. Keeping an engaged spine, but you feel the curve in your low back. Just let your knees roll to the right side. The left hip stacks on top of right. Legs come to the floor. And hugging right knee into left. Come back through center. Feel the curve in the low back, but feel the rib cage engaged. Feel nice and long through the back of the head maybe even pressing down as you roll the knees to the left side. Right hip stacks on top of left. Hugging left knee in, coming back to center. Bring the feet down and then stretch the legs long. Stretch the arms long. Really make sure you have that nice long spine. And then move to Shavasana. So as you settle in, think of Shavasana as reciprocity, giving back to your body that did so much for you. So you really want to encourage a deep relaxation. The breath is even like appreciating gratitude and reciprocity because you draw breath in. It's like life force. We're so grateful for that. And then as you exhale, you're giving back. So give back with the breath. Give back to the body. Encourage all of your muscles to relax deeply. Beginning to notice your breath again. It moves in and out of the heart space. I always like to think of the lungs as wings for your heart. So as you breathe, it just kind of makes the wings of your heart flutter. And begin to move in small ways when you feel ready. You can move your fingers, toes, arms, head. Eventually drawing your knees in and rolling to the side to push on up to seated. Just take your time. And share a reading from Marianne Williamson this morning, entitled, "In order to go deep, I make sure I go slowly." When things in the world are troubling, my need is not to join in the chaos, but to cleave to the peace within. The way to gain power in a world that is moving too fast is to learn to slow down. The only way to spread one's influence wide is to learn to go deep. The world I want for myself will not emerge from electronic speed, but rather from a spiritual stillness that takes root in my soul. Then and only then can I create a world that delights my spirit instead of one that shatters it. Bring hands to heart center. Appreciating your nice long spine, long back of neck, bow towards your heart, which in every culture is known as the seat of your soul. I'm so grateful for each of you. Bow to the beautiful light that emanates from you. Namaste. Thanks, guys. It felt good to me. I hope it did to you too.
It was wonderful. Thank you, Lisa.
Oh, you're welcome.
Just what I needed.